Hello, today we're going to talk about Qimage Ultimate for 2012. That's right, the new Qimage Ultimate is here. Well, you've downloaded it, you've installed it, and now you're looking at it, and if it's your first time you're saying, what do I do now? Well, obviously, first thing we need to do is find our pictures. That's your job. Where do you keep your pictures? Well, some programs make you go to File and then Open or Import or all those kind of gyrations to find your pictures. Qimage does it in a simpler way. You click on this bar here that's marked Folders. Click to open or close. So we click it and it opens. We can even pull it down a little bit if you want to see your tree a little bit clearer. And I keep my pictures in a folder called Pics. It has a plus sign, so I click the plus sign, and there's all the folders that I use for individual events. You can see they're all named so I can find my pictures easily. Well, you guys have your pictures someplace. Now's the time to find it. When you do, just give it a click, okay? And you'll see Qimage Ultimate is building thumbnails. Well, it does this the first time it opens a folder, so it might take a few extra seconds the first time around, but after that it's a blink of an eye. Okay, for viewing we'll close this folder button over here and we'll wait while Qimage Ultimate builds the thumbnails for us. These yellow things up here in the corner indicate that these are raw files, and Qimage Ultimate is not only going to build thumbnails, but it's going to build cache files also. We'll explain them a little bit later, but it's nothing more than a copy of your files, and it's kept for quick access, a copy of your pictures. Okay, let's look at a few things we have to offer in the way of customizing. Up here at the Edit button, typical File, Edit, View, we have an Edit button, and it says Preferences. We click on that, we come down to this bottom section where it says Customize. Well, just for a demonstration, we're going to customize the thumbnail size, okay? And you can make it suit yourself. I happen to like medium size. You may like small, in which case you can get more into the screen, like 5 across instead of 4 across. But it's strictly up to you, and that's why they call it customizing, okay? I'm going to put mine back to medium, like that. Okay, now I guess we're ready to proceed. The next thing we want to do is check our printer. Well, we look up here and we see which printer is connected to Qimage. Some of you have one printer and some of you have many. Okay, well, this is not the printer I use for printing pictures. This is just kind of like my network printer for printing emails and stuff like that. So what do? I go over to the first button over here that says Printer Page Setup. I give it a click, and now we're into our printer driver, and I click here, and now I select my printer. Well, I use the Epson R1800 for my photo printing, so I click on that and I selected it. I go into Properties because as long as we're here we might as well get ready to print something. I don't want plain paper. I'm going to choose something that I have plenty of, which is Epson Premium Glossy right there. I'm going to set the print quality for best photo. That's kind of like a medium quality like that, and I say OK and OK, and see what happened. I got the correct printer now. Alright, that's fine. And I want to call your attention to one more item. We are telling the printer that we're using 8.5 by 11 size paper. Pretty standard common paper in the United States. I think it's pretty close to A4 paper. And it doesn't say 8.5 by 11 up here. It says 10.766 by 8.266, which is like 7 3/4 by 8 1/4. This number is what is reported to Qimage from your printer. So don't think Qimage is cheating you or anything like that. This is the space on this page that Qimage can put actual print information. The rest of the page the printer needs it for pulling it through. It's called housekeeping. It needs to grab the paper, it needs to move the heads just so far so it doesn't go off the edge and all those kind of things. You can print on the full page if you change to borderless, but that's covered in another topic. Okay, let me call your attention now to the job properties area of the screen. This is nothing more than showing you where to put your monitor profile, your printer profile, and that's where they go, and we'll cover that later on, but in case you're wondering what this part is all about, that's what we do over here. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is show you how simple Qimage handles your print sizes. Right now we have a button right at the end of this row over here, and if you put your pointer on it, it says default print properties. Give it a click, and that tells you that currently the default of these template boxes in here are set for 5x7 size. Okay, what does that mean? That means if I select a picture like this, okay, and I clicked on the 5x7, I got a 5x7. Or I can just click on the picture and say plus, and I got two 5x7s. Okay, that's how simple that is. Now, if I want to remove one of these, I just click on the minus sign and it's removed. Okay, let's put another one in there. Let's say this fella here, and it goes to 5x7. Why? Because that's the default we left it at. Okay, remember this guy, the default? Okay, now we can close this box in various ways. Holding the right mouse button closes it, or you can click on the X, anything you like. Now let's move on. Each picture has its own print properties box. So if I click on that guy, it's already selected, and I could change him to a 3x5 as quickly as that. I can change him to a wallet size as quickly as that. Okay? Now if I want to change this one, I click on this guy's property box. Same box, but actually what I did is select him, and I can make a 4x5 out of that guy. So you can see how easily we can change sizes. You want to put something back? Fine. Click on it. Say 5x7. I like that. Okay, you're getting the hang of this thing. You can see how easy it really is. Now if I decided I really like this picture here very, very much, I can remove this guy. Okay, and I can click on the little property button over here, the size button. Click on 8x10. Bang! I got an 8x10. Okay, now what happens if I click on a different picture this way? What's going to happen to it? Well, let's take this guy. Click on the button, and I got an 8x10 of that. Where'd the first one go? It's still there. It's on page 1. We're on page 2. Okay, so now you got two prints to make. Very, very simple. Change your mind on this one. Click the print properties box. Say 5x7. Now you've got one 5x7 on this page. You got an 8x10 on this page. You see where we're going with this? It's very, very easy. Okay, you can see now how powerful these buttons are right here, but let me show you another thing. Let's right click. We'll select one, right click. You talk about things you can do. All these things are reachable by this simple right click on this thumbnail menu. And you've got so many things you can do. You can display full screen if you want. The image examiner, soft proof. You can go to refine if it's a raw image. You can go to the editor if it's a plain image. You can go to an editor with any image for that matter. So many things you can do. Remove filters, add filters, and so on and so forth. It's just fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to put an image back in the queue again for you. And how we do that? Very simple. Just click on the plus button. It's telling you that it's going to go into a 5x7 print size. That's fine. There's our 5x7 print size. And if I want to change that size, what do? Click on the print properties button. Say 8x10. I got an 8x10. Okay, now let me show you something very, very quickly. Down here we have a button called Edit Page. Okay, if I click on Edit Page, obviously I go to the page editor. Just want to show you one little thing you can do here. You have two tabs. One's showing you the placement on the paper. That's the size location. And the other one is over here with a cropping tab. Okay? Now, the cropping tab is just a tool you can use for zooming. Okay, you move it around like that, and you can set your subject exactly where you want it inside your picture, and it helps you to make a better print. Okay, going to click done on that guy, and you can see this is where what your print's going to look like. You don't like it, click on the little scissor, it says remove, and you're back to where you were before. Nothing is ever damaged or altered while you're using Qimage. Now, when we have an image in the queue like this, we had a right-click menu from the thumbs. We've got a different right-click menu when we click on the preview panel over on the right-hand side. And we've got various things like clear the queue, refine raw exposures, batch edits, sort the prints, convert images. You want to convert your raw into a JPEG or a TIFF or something like that. Create email, web size copy. You've got so many things you can do from this menu here. You just have to try them and say, wow, that's all you have to do. It's all there at your fingertips. Qimage Ultimate has it all. Okay, we're pretty close to the end now. I just want to show you one more thing. We're going to change the size of this picture like this. Let's say 2.5 by 3.5. And we'll add a couple of more pictures at the same size like this. Now we've got 3. Let's add one more. We've got 4. And let's say that you wanted to change these two pictures only. Okay, well, we can click on this and we can hold the control key, and now we've got 2 pictures selected. Okay, and we can change the size of 2 pictures at once like that. So these 2 became 4 by 5s, and these 2 stayed the way they were. So you've got such control with Qimage Ultimate. It's all there in front of you and ready to go. Okay, let me clear this queue so we don't take too much time. Clear queue. You can see how nice and empty it is. Right mouse button, remove the print properties box, and I'm just going to put one picture in there for you now. Print properties. I'm going to say 8 by 10. There it is, and let's say we wanted to print this picture right now. Okay, all I do is click the print button and OK, and off it goes. Okay, I thank you very much for listening. I hope you got plenty out of this video for Qimage Ultimate, and we keep on growing. Thank you again.